Let's create another page in my memory keeping journal. Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today I'm really excited to do a little bit more memory keeping in the Elizabeth Craft Designs memory journal that I picked up this spring. I am having fun with this. I'm just getting started, kind of playing around, figuring out what I want to do, how I want to do it, and today I want to go ahead and document my kiddo's first day of school. So we are going to dig in. I'm using Elizabeth Craft Designs. I have 49 in Market, the Flower Emporium pulled out, and I'll probably pull out some metal dies as well. All right, I will link the things that I use down in the description box below. Otherwise, let's go. All right, so last time I created a page, I do have a video on the channel, was the page that you see right there, which was when we arrived in Texas, and I created a page that went inside a page protector. They have a whole system of page protectors that have dividers and that have pockets and things like that in them. This time I'm going to create one outside the page protector. I'm trying to decide which one I like best, if there's a style that I like best, if I maybe want to go one way or the other. Right now, I'm leaning towards outside the page protector. I think I just like the way it looks better. I feel like I have just a tiny bit more freedom to create. Just, I don't know. That's where I'm leaning right now. I need to try some more of the pocket systems that they have, some more of those. So maybe we will do that next video. Every time I play with this system, I'm discovering more and more what I like. So right now I'm using the metal die to cut out a page, but if you noticed, I lined my metal die up incorrectly. There's a little part sticking out there at the top. That's not going to work. It did not cut through. At first I thought, oh no, the metal die is messed up. Nope, that was user error. And I know so many of you work with metal dies all the time, and you are probably just chuckling to yourselves about how often I am going to mess up my metal dies. It just happens. I need a new set of plates. I need to get a little better at working with these different metal dies, but I'm learning, and right now I'm on a budget. So there's no new plates coming into this craft room anytime soon. So we're working with what we got. So I miscut the first one. Here's how I'm going to fix it. At first I was going to throw it out and start again. I don't want to waste this beautiful paper from Flower Emporium. So I'm going to cut a new top like you see right here, just the top of this. I will cut through. The metal die works perfectly. The machine works perfectly. It's just me that doesn't always work perfectly. When I cut this one out, then all I have to do is line up the holes. And what it does is give me a little, I don't know, interest, I would say, to my page. Because now on the front, I have a little bit of blue peeking out. And then on the back, I'll have a little extra rainbow lines. So it all works out in the end. And I try to always leave these things in here to show you all that just because you make a mistake doesn't mean you have to scrap a whole project, doesn't mean you really messed up. It's just an opportunity to change directions. And in this case, I feel like it was a happy accident because I like how it gave that little detail, especially to the back of this particular page. Okay, once that is secured down, now I'm set, ready to go. I have my background page all set. I just need to start figuring out how I want to layer photos on the top. And this was one of the cut apart pages in the Flower Emporium set. It looks like a library card, and I thought that was perfect. These are back to school photos, our first time back to school in Texas. It meant a very short summer for my kiddos because, of course, in Virginia, school goes a little bit later. In Texas, it starts a little earlier. So it was a short summer for them, but they were excited to start their new schools. And I officially have a high schooler and twin middle schoolers, which feels crazy. I have no idea where the time has gone. That is absolutely ridiculous. So I have all of their photos, the library card background, that's perfect. And then I thought the butterflies kind of flying off into the world, that seems pretty appropriate as well. So I have a little cluster plan. I'm going to start by putting a few things down. What I'm really enjoying about these particular pages is a couple things. I like adding small detail moments. I think on a memory planning spread, when you fill up a whole week full of photos, sometimes I would get overwhelmed and I wouldn't take the time to do the small details. When you do a full 12 by 12 scrapbook page, it can take a long time. And so if you're trying to keep up with all the memory keeping, you feel like you fall behind. These pages are small. They're like a bite size, little bit of memory keeping, and I can add little moments and little details, which I have been trying to do on these pages that I may not have thought of on a typical memory planning spread when I was just kind of churning those out each and every week. Now you will see me using several rub-on transfers throughout this. I was super pleasantly surprised, really pleased with the quality of the rub-on transfers from 49 and Market. In this case, because they held their own, I felt like, over the patterned paper. They came off of the transfer really easily. I just really loved this particular brand of rub-ons. I've been using rub-on transfers a little bit more recently, and I've tried some different brands and some of them don't work so well. So in this case, I really loved the 49 and Market. Highly recommend. Let's add a little floral here at the bottom. I think it softens the edge between the two pictures and kind of fills in this moment right here. So I'm going to add that, trim off the little side, and then the two butterflies. And once I do that, I feel like it's an opportunity. I have that rub on transfer. I feel like it's just calling for a little title right there. That's not usually my strong point. I don't like leaving empty space up top. In fact, you know I'm going to fill this space. It's going to happen. I like very full spreads, even on the smaller size. So I'm going to have some more up top, but I thought let's go ahead and add a title to this whole moment right here. Let's do back to school and let's add their grades. For the title, I'm going to use Tim Holtz, these alpha tiles. These are old stickers. I love them. I'm obsessed with them. I do not think they make them anymore, which makes me incredibly sad. But these are some of my favorite stickers to use as titles. So we'll add back to school and then 6th grade and 9th grade on the respective pictures. Now, a few of you mentioned last time around when I talked about putting pictures on the front and journaling on the back that it might seem weird when you have the whole memory planner open. That means the journaling that's on the left side is not going to match the photos that you see on the right. And I agree. That is kind of funky, kind of weird. I haven't come up with a great solution for that yet. I don't want to think of these as double page spreads. For some reason, when I have two sides of like left side and right side, when I open my little scrapbook or little memory planner right here, I don't want that. Front and back feels less like making a two-sided spread. I don't know why that is. It might just be a weird hang up for me. I just like the idea of like one page for one event, even if the journaling is on the back. So to each their own, whatever works for you. This is what kind of feels good to me right now in creating. And to be honest, that's what I'm aiming for. There have been so many transitions in my life, so many things going on that I want to do projects that feel good. And this is the thing that feels good in this moment. All right, I am going to grab this little metal die. It says August, and I'm going to put it right here in the middle of these tickets to create an extra title for this page. So there was the title of Back to School. I do want to label it with the date, so we're going to run this through the metal die machine. I know some of you are I love the metal dies. I just do. They're so fun to work with. It's really, I don't know, very hands-on as opposed to my Cricut. I really, really like it. I very much want to go onto the Elizabeth Craft Designs website and get some more metal dies. But like I said, a little bit of a spending freeze happening over here after that big move. So it will have to wait for a little while longer. However, I can't wait to expand my metal die collection and play more with these beautiful supplies. Now, the ticket I cut was actually like a double ticket. And at first, I was just going to have the August like that. But I think layering the purple behind is a lot of fun. And I didn't want to cover up too much of the rainbow. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to layer those two sides together. So the August comes out in purple. Let me just put those together. And then I'm actually going to trim out the little notch because once I turned it upside down, you were kind of missing a notch on one of the tickets and it looks less like a ticket and more just like a rectangle. So let me notch those out again, and then I'll get this down on the page. These, it just brings me so much joy. I love this project. I love these little entries. They are so fun to create when you're getting to use your favorite supplies like this 49 and Market set. It's just, it's so happy. Now let's create a journaling spot on the back. I spent a long time. I really wanted to be able to use the piece that I had cut off from the front that looked like a card, like a library card, but it just couldn't, I didn't like it. I couldn't figure out a good place for it to go. I'm going to cut out this yellow piece right here and add that on, but I couldn't figure out how I wanted to layer the other one. It just felt too forced. You can see me. I'm going to try it a bunch different ways. I wanted to have plenty of space to journal because I had all the emotions with back to school this time around. So I didn't want to cover up too much my journaling card. I wanted the rainbow to show. It just wasn't fitting how I liked it, which is fine. Sometimes you have a plan and it doesn't work, and I'll just have to use that piece for something else later on. Okay, so once I decided to ditch that, I did want to add a little something extra to my journaling card. And so I picked up a couple more metal dies. These will say, love this. I put them where I want them on the card, use washi tape to hold it in place, and then we'll run that through the machine and it will punch out the words, love this. And it looks so cute. I'm tickled every time I use my, it's been so long since I've used my metal die cut. I've had this for years, which is why my plates are so bent, but I haven't used it in a really long time. And now I'm very excited to be grabbing for it and using it once again. All right, that is going to get that journaling card pretty much set. Look how cute that looks with the cutout. I probably should have saved all those little letters. I have dreams of creating a letter box at some point that has a bunch of different letters all cut out in different patterns and colors and from magazines and things like that. But that will have to be a project for another time. It's just not meant for me right now. See how the rainbow comes through on the love this? So adorable. Let's play with some more rub-on transfers. This is perfect here at the bottom. Bring a little more pink in and the florals at the bottom. Rub-on transfers are pretty darn easy to work with. So they have a backing on them. When you're ready to put them on the page, you take off the opaque backing, put just the clear part on the page, then grab something like a popsicle stick, something pretty easy, and you just rub it on as if it were a temporary tattoo, but with no water. So I will rub it on, trying to be pretty thorough to get all the little bits and pieces. As you're starting to pull it up, if you notice that not everything transferred to the paper, you just lay it right back down in the same exact spot. Use your popsicle stick, rub a little bit more, and then lift it, and everything should transfer pretty easily. But I like how that softens that edge just a bit here. I'm trying to get all over to the edges, get every last little piece. See, I'm going to pull it up just a little bit. When I see that something didn't transfer, I just rub again and again, little pieces here and there. It's the edges that I generally miss. Usually I'm pretty good in the middle section. It's all those little detail edges. How stinking adorable. I love this page. Okay, I want to add something at the top. Yes, I have the rainbow, but I just want to break it up a little bit, and I decided actually to go a little bit off center just to create a little bit of more of an interest because everything was so symmetrical. So we'll add the yellow floral and the foliage up there, and then I pull a supply that I haven't used in forever, and that would be enamel dots. I have some enamel dots in my studio that I've had for years. They made the move with me down from Virginia, and I wanted to use them. I was like, hey, let's start using some of these supplies that have been around. Well, friends, There's a reason you don't keep supplies for this long because, man, oh man, those enamel dots lost their stick. I wanted to use the little hearts. I could not get those little hearts to be in the right place. It was a struggle. So be careful. Check your enamel dots. I did eventually find some that worked to fill in that spot, but check your enamel dots. They definitely will start to lose their stick. All right, once I add some lines for journaling, that is going to be it for this memory keeping process. I am still loving the system. I'm learning more each and every time I play with it, so I can't wait to create a little bit more. And I hope you all are enjoying these videos as well. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell notification button. As always, I will link all of the supplies I use down in the description box below, so be sure to check that out. I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreon members. You all are rock stars. We have a fabulous time, a ton of extra content, Zoom calls, chats, lots of fun things happening on Patreon. If you want to join us, it is never too late. Head on over to patreon.com/ScrappyWife. All right, I hope that you have a fabulous day. And as always, keep it creative.